We saw the Minecraft movie. We did not see it together. I don't think I think we all saw it independently, right?
Yeah, we went to it. I mean, I have a piece I'd like to read.
I mean, by all means.
I guess I'm a poet and I didn't know it, but
okay.
If I may, I hate to add to the post-production stack, but if we could play
I fully thought
music.
You were gonna bring out a harmonica.
Somehow a full pair of bongos from the inside of my jacket. Mine, craft who? Me,
Craft mine.
Yours?
Yours. Yeah.
Quote, I cordially dislike allegory in all its manifestations, and have always done so since I grew old and wary to detect its presence. So spoke the immortal words of J.R.R. Tolkien, beloved author of Lord of the Rings 2, and all 3 Hobbit movies, and Game of Thrones, I guess, when you think about it.
Okay, he wrote books.
He made the guys. Tolkien's work has undeniably contributed to and perhaps even forged the very landscape of modern fiction, not only in the foundations of fantasy adventure, but the foundations of modern storytelling itself. In the past, I'd found myself bracing against the quote mentioned. Cultural reference, theming, metaphor, all these things have the capacity to elevate a work when applied correctly. However, it can also serve as a crutch, a deflection away from critiques of the work itself, as though the text is elevated simply because it's allegorical, because it has theming. Mm-hmm. No, roars the braying mare. Ted Lasso isn't annoying. It's about opening up and friendship and nice feelings and colors and getting the fast pass, and it's funny and it's good. Well, it isn't funny or good, but those things make it good. Sometimes text can be critiqued because of its themes. Mm-hmm. Grapes of Wrath. Mid.
Not a Steinbeck head.
Fahrenheit 451. Trash. Catcher in the Rye and its sequel, Oopsie Daisy, Sorry About John Lennon. Trash. You know what the so-called master of the craft, J.R.R., never managed to do? Craft. Steve. Chicken jockey.
He never crafted Steve.
Never did it once.
Not even one time.
Aragorn's considered to be kind of the modern heroic archetype, but his fit was trash, and bro couldn't game. Garrett Garrison, the garbage man.
Who was the?
Aragorn.
Oh, Aragorn.
Garrett Garrison, the garbage man, nay garbage legend, will hold a place in historical canon that puts Achilles to shame. Achilles' fit was also trash, and he was bullshit. Future scholars will likely mock and discard the Iliad and the Odyssey, along with all staples in fiction, without the bravery to include a creeper or a little guy on that chicken jockey I am Steve. Remember that shit? Homer doesn't. Homer didn't do shit, basically.
Yeah, and not Homer from The Simpsons, Homer from the Odyssey.
The real bro, at least formerly. I don't even remember him anymore. We've burned all of that shit. Alexandria burned to the ground again. Because now all I care about is the Minecraft movie. Homer couldn't spot the Minecraft movie with the Hubble telescope.
Oh, shit.
The film is perfect in its execution. And if you hated it, it's because you're scared of having fun and caring about things. How about you stop taking L's and being whack and start eating snacks with me and Jack Black?
Whoa,
Keep your complaints to Discord, kitten. 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Literally tell me why this is different than Inside Out 2.
Is that like your letterbox?
I should start a letterbox, post that only, and then never open it again. Vibes on the movie.
I mean, okay.
We should say we have not
discussed it.
You text the group chat and said, just saw the Minecraft movie, screaming, like running around.
I experienced fleeting moments of utter disbelief.
It is an experience.
I went in not knowing what to expect. Because I hadn't seen anything other than the trailer. I think we talked a little bit about it. I think during the trailer, we were like, why did they even go with a real people angle?
What are you thinking? There's no way the compositing will be amazing.
I do remember hearing some stuff through the grapevine from sources I cannot name that it's got some sauce. That maybe has some something it's working with.
When you kind of look into it, you're like, oh, the director of Napoleon Dynamite? Interesting. That seems like an odd.
I didn't know that.
That's not just like a jobber, you know what I mean? That's not like some...
Yeah, I had a few experiences. Like, I saw the screenplay credit had 4 authors on it, or 4 screenwriters. I was like, is this a movie that has had a screenplay in... just in hell.
Hand to hand. And
then I looked at the Wikipedia production, and that is exactly what happened.
I mean, of course, if there was going to be a Minecraft movie made expediently, it would have come out 10 years ago.
The first attached director was Rob McEnany.
Oh,
how do you say his
name?
McElhaney, yeah.
From Always Sunny?
From Always Sunny, yeah. He was the first attached director.
That is such another strange choice.
Yeah. So there's parts of your monologue, your review that
poem.
Your poem, I did relate to. A lot of it is in describing if the movie is good or bad. I think the answer is yes.
Oh, yeah.
And also no.
It is, keyword being movie. This is movie mindset. Baby, if you even try, I'm not here to have a conversation about what does or does not qualify as cinema, but the reason we started calling stuff movies was because stuff like this started coming out. It's on.
It is the type of film, and I will use that, I won't use that term lightly.
Cinema.
It is the type of cinematic experience that, and I'm not saying this as a joke, really challenges what is perceived as good or bad art.
Yeah,
I think it's very easy to say the movie's bad. I think it's very easy to say I saw Chicken Jockey movie is perfect cinema.
I think it's every critique, like main criticism I see of the Minecraft movie feels like people holding on to the read they had before they saw the movie.
Well, I will say that like in the back of my mind, most of the time, I was thinking this is so stupid. And also this is bad. And then I would like cry laughing at something.
This script is very funny. The hit rate is...
I was going to say like...
It's two warring movies.
Well, that's how I felt. I would literally go from this is hysterical to I am physically cringing at how earnestly this is being played.
It literally feels like a one of the like more cynical Illumination productions bumping up against the kind of kitschy Midwest comedy of Napoleon Dynamite. And and I would say 65% of it wins out. A lot of Napoleon Dynamite does get through.
I was thinking a lot about whether or not the parts of the movie that didn't work for me were necessary tapestry or like infrastructure for the parts of the movie that I did enjoy. I guess we'll spoil the movie. Obviously, we've been talking in very general terms so far, so nothing's been spoiled yet, but
there are, broadly speaking, all the things I was expecting to like really hate, the things that would really annoy me, perfectly juked. It is shocking how many things I thought I'd dislike that did not happen because of this travesty of a marketing campaign. Very cruel output there. However, every now and then, and again, these two warring movies, on one side is a legitimate, fun, decently paced, entertaining ensemble cast with, I'll get back to that, entertaining ensemble cast going through a series of like pretty cool spectacles. Nothing feels, it's surprisingly kind of vertical for a story where nobody can ever be seen climbing something because there's these huge blocks. Yeah. It's really well put together. The compositing's amazing. Very surprised by that. And then the movie has to do something. And it's like the movie's making money and then it has to pay its taxes.
Yeah,
and
it does feel like that.
Someone telling a genuinely funny joke and someone going, oh, this guy is such a tool bag. Like, oh.
I think that the sister character wasn't given a lot.
The two female leads were removed from the movie. It literally feels like there's a plot. Weakest thing about the whole movie.
Well, that was the crazy thing is that like the sister gets a lot of the like emotional grounding, but it means that in this like wacky ass movie, she has to do all of these scenes that are like about heart and love and care that she has to have for her brother, and
while not sharing the screen with him for basically half the movie.
Yeah, and then just like none of it lands for me. And
it feels like a burden. It feels like she has to carry that weight so that the rest of the script doesn't.
I know, by the way, that like every actor in this movie is individually talented, and so it's not a statement on their abilities, but I do think that like a lot of the characters felt like taxes.
Yeah.
Like it did. Okay, so
there's work they had to do and work they enjoyed.
Maybe this is reductive, but it did feel a lot like, how do we let Jack Black do Jack Black thing at all times? And then I don't know how you felt about Jason Momoa's character.
Wet Jason?
I know that it was going for like this campy, like tongue-in-cheek thing, but most of his character stuff didn't work for me.
I have a thought on why the issue is there, because there's portions of the movie I love him.
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like his line delivery on a lot of the strongest scripted moments is literally a 10. It's extremely funny.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of times it is like just like what he's given to do.
Yeah, everyone acquits himself really well, even the characters that are like kind of sidelined. Their scenes are working exactly as intended.
Yeah.
They're not playing it dry. She's doing as good a job as you can do with a like, oh man, slow down the fun for a second. I've got to talk about some tragedy.
The cringy stuff for me was when this like clearly goofy ass movie was doing like earnest emotional stuff,
which feels like the taxes.
When everyone had to act scared about certain things, it felt like I was watching bad improv. It's none of the actors. Like, what's the name of the actress who was in Orange is the New Black? Like, I think she's so funny, and I do not think she was given a lot of.
Yeah, she has beats in the movie where she's really funny, and her character setup is really funny.
Danielle Brooks.
Yes.
Oh my God, the Jennifer Coolidge stuff too.
The Jennifer.
What is going on? A Family Guy gag.
We should explain when I say there's like warring movies. Really, I literally mean warring scripts. Like it feels like there was the Rob McElhenney version of this, which is mostly about characters cohabitating a space, riffing their characters out in that space, and then moving on to a set piece. Then there is the Jared Hess version of this, where it is a Midwestern town set entirely outside of the Minecraft universe, where when a villager from Minecraft, looking the same way they do, walks out into the real world, no one ever acknowledges that he looks weird.
Right,
That's the hyper. Brilliant. That's exactly how it should be treated, because how boring is, this guy's head's a little big.
Yeah, and he's square.
Then, Emma Myers is given the burden of walking through this script, trying to tell me that she lives in a world where people would notice that villager. Do you know what I mean? She's talking about a real world.
It's too real.
The fun. I mean, before I got what the movie was going for, we were crying laughing at their very first scene where they referenced their dead mother 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
It felt like a Family Guy bit.
Yeah, it was.
And their mum wanted them to live in this town. That was her dying wish?
Oh, so many things felt like set up. Like, it almost felt like, okay, let's get this out of the way.
Or like, was that Alex? You know, was their mum Alex from Minecraft?
Well, did you ever see me after the credit scene?
Little Alex. Peeps popped the fuck off for that. Unironically.
I popped off for a few things. I thought, also, there were a lot of kids in the theater, and their reactions made the experience so much better.
Their group popped for Chicken Jockey, right?
Of course.
I had no fucking idea what that was.
Oh, that's funny.
I had heard it broadly referenced.
I played a ton of Minecraft in like 2020, 2021 when we were doing Batty SMP.
That's right.
And I was the member of the group that would like nerd out about. I was the one building the dynamite farm with creepers for the elytra and like the mechanical Minecraft stuff. I was like, that's how that works. That's how that works. You know, it's like literally like they're flying with the elytra, and I was like, not quite how it works. And then I was like, well, they just showed off this dynamite, these fireworks. Why aren't they using the fireworks? And there's one scene of them using the fireworks to like provide lift, because normally the elytra, you go down and then you use the fireworks to raise yourself into the air.
Those moments stick out because it's not really a fan service movie for huge amounts of it.
Well, there's a few there. Okay, so one of the fan service moments that it happens very early on, and I was like, yo, this rules, was the Technoblade shout out.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Like reference. And I was like, you know what? That fucking rules.
That got a pop.
Yeah,
Even in this quiet theater, I'm talking maybe 20 people other than
I
us
was
in an
like,
IMAX
you know
theater.
what? Like, it almost like brought a tear to my eye.
That was very sweet.
Look, School of Rock is probably my favorite movie.
That's Kino. That's cinema.
And it is cinema, and I'll defend it. It's a perfect movie.
If you don't like it,
step off! Step off! And you're also not hardcore is the thing.
Unless you live hardcore.
Unless you live hardcore, of course. But the legend of the Rent was way hardcore!
7,000 people not knowing what we're referencing.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, us just doing that was the vibe of the Minecraft movie, where it would be like Jack Black is in his Dewey Finn character.
The Minecraft movie is in Jack Black.
Literally, it feels like
he's broken into the movie.
End of credits scene was like zooming out on like Jack Black's brain, and he's like in a hospital.
He's
like,
playing marbles with the world.
Yeah. It's like a vehicle for Jack Black to do. Skibbity boo bop, I'm Jack Black. And then we move my eyebrow, and like that's kind of
like, who the fuck is this for?
Yeah, no, like
I don't mind seeing it, but
I was like, for me, I was like, someone had to be like, okay, we're gonna have Jack Black do, because Jack Black has acting range. He hasn't acted in like, I haven't seen him in a ton of stuff in modern times, but
he does a diversity of performances.
He's had a diversity of performances, but he was like asked to do the most Jack Blackiest Jack Black.
It's cool to see in a sense, but it is also like,
because there's just songs out of nowhere.
It's kind of like when Jim Carrey did the Sonic movie after 20 years of like not doing mask type stuff, and all of a sudden he's like moving his face again and doing this. I'm like, that's Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
That's not Robotnik. You can't trick me.
It is, but then also for a new generation, right? Because like, none of these kids were born when School of Rock came out. That came out in 2003, I
Honestly,
think.
that is the third warring movie. In fact, it's just a virus. Just the computer got infected with Jack Black. He's a mod. He's like a texture pack for Steve that's too high fidelity or something.
The funny thing about my mechanical understanding of Minecraft, it's divorced from Minecraft culturally.
Yes, that was
a
thing
Chicken
for
Jockey,
me.
I literally
Didn't know it was a meme.
I didn't know it was a meme. I was just thinking, yes, the rare Chicken Jockey spawn.
Or is it more of a meme because of
I don't know.
the trailer?
I actually don't know. Maybe it was in the trailer.
And I guess I'll say, just to make sure I got this through, I really enjoyed the movie.
I had a lot of fun.
I had a really good time. Even it's never boring. When it's boring, it's confusing. It escapes boring.
I was gonna say I was bored at points. It was the points where we had to do formulaic plot progression.
The movie's creeping on an hour 50.
It's long,
and it could lose 20 minutes minimum.
There's just so much backstory that I'm like, what's the name of the antagonist woman?
Good
the Piglin Queen. What's her name?
She's great. I just have no idea.
She's great, but like
the backstory.
The backstory, I was like, okay, the balls for this movie to open with the longest narrated opening.
It's crazy.
I was like, when does the fucking movie start?
It is. It's like in one of those Star Wars Family Guy parodies where the opening script keeps going for a really long time.
The thing about that is that like, okay, well, it's going on for so long that it becomes funny again.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing is it's tonally mismatched. Like when, jokes aside, I said like, I was implying like there's no allegory in this movie. It is what it is. But there's allegory in any story because that's kind of at this point it's conventional. You don't even the way that the typical 3-act structure of a movie forces themes into it. It like, do you ever have that feeling where you fail at something but then you get good? Like you can't escape it. This movie is at its weakest when it's abiding by the rules of what it's supposed to be, and it is at its best when you're like, wait, am I watching 15 minutes of Jack Black explain his life experience? Which begins with him as a little kid wanting to work in the mines.
In the mines.
You might...
And then there's an old man there who says, no kids in the mines.
Growls at him with a lion sound effect.
And then he comes back as Jack Black.
And the guy's the same age.
Yeah.
And they never explain why he wanted to work in a mine.
No.
Because it doesn't matter.
No.
The movie is here to go. It's happening. It's now.
But then there's parts where I go, because it doesn't matter, did it even need to be explained to begin with? Because I feel like so much of this movie, I'm like, would it have been a more adventurous or less adventurous movie if it went the Mario or the Lego movie approach?
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, they took this big swing with the live action elements of it, and I'm not sure if that, like, for example, I don't think Jack Black's performance translates to a digital character.
Yeah.
But would we have been able to skip a lot of exposition?
I would say Jason Momoa's performance would really struggle in animated form. But that's because these are not voice actors predominantly.
Yeah,
and it is its own craft. And it is kind of disrespected as far as, especially with like like you have to convince executives to make a movie or whatever, and you go like, well, Tom Cruise is playing a troll, and it's like,
well, that's
the sell.
The
but
thing
they're
about
not good
Jason
at it.
Momoa's thing was that like it kind of felt meta that like Jason Momoa.
He's playing a parody of his Aquaman performance for a guy with no powers.
Yeah, it's like, but also like this ridiculous wig. Like so many things about it were like over the top on like I have to like acknowledge that so many of these things are on purpose, but like
And don't ask me to come down to normal now and then.
right, that's kind of where I like
I wanted to be a mom for my brother and I just can't do it.
it kind of feels like in like a Herald in like an improv show having to kind of have this spine of story beats that you just need to keep going. Okay, we're at act 2 now. Now we can get as wacky as we want as long as we come back. We come back home at the end and everything becomes real again. And then we go into act 3.
My least favorite part of the movie is, and this is it's funny because this actually tonally is about Napoleon Dynamite as the movie gets. Is it's wrapping 5 minutes where it's like, and this guy and the little kid got this thing and we made the best video game. It's wrapping them up. They go back to the real world and they go like, and the girl learned karate, so it's actually not sexist. They do all of that. And I was watching that and I'm like,
the movie's over. The movie's been over.
It just feels obligatory. And every time when the movie is not following the rules that it has to,
Yeah.
I literally was sat there and being like, it's crazy that this came out. It's crazy that
that's
I'm
how
seeing
I feel.
this.
No, my thing I posted on my Instagram story, and people were like, "I can't tell if you're saying it's good or bad," and I'm like, "Exactly." My caption was, "Why was this the way that it was?"
For this many rotations of the script, it should be bland. That should be the result.
It felt like something that was trying to burst out of a traditional structure, and at times it succeeded, and it was incredible, and then at times it was confined in a prison that is the fucking Joseph Campbell like hero's journey.
They're just trying to break.
You know what I mean?
Do you remember the very specific era? Granted, it's still prevalent now and then, but the very specific era where 3D was the selling point. The 3D is where you start, and then the movie's built around it. And it would just be like, look out, that kind of stuff. That's a little bit what the movie feels like, except it's the interesting part of the movie going like, oh, let me out.
It's literally,
it's
crazy. Almost like Frozen and Carbonite, like trying to. Yeah. Well,
Han.
There was like, I think the first time. Well, I think I fucking burst out laughing multiple times in this movie.
Mostly the movie.
With the movie, but like the movie was making a joke, and I went, haha, good joke. And then sometimes I'd be like, ugh, this is such a like almost cringing.
Tapping
like,
my watch now and then.
Can we move past this? And then
because I know the movie can be better.
Yeah, well,
I've seen it be good.
Like this is such a dumb joke, but hello, Jarvis here, excited for that. He's like inexplicably a savant at like building that also inexplicably translates to Minecraft, which is, I'm like, if you're gonna you explained so many things that didn't need to be explained, but like but for some reason this kid is a mad scientist. But anyway, when he builds a rocket and then the bullies like cut the cord and it fucking it goes in the thing and it implodes.
I literally saw that and I'm like, Jarvis would have loved that moment.
I died.
So he's a genius creative kid. He goes to school. It's his new school. His mother's dying wish was to move to bullshit Idaho for some reason. There's a giant potato chip mascot because the core industry of this mining town is potato chips. This is where the movie is good. And
they did 9/11.
Literally, it is the most high fidelity, realistic looking explosion I have seen since like Tenet.
I couldn't believe they did that. Like I truly was beside myself.
They fly the jetpack into a so the bullies cut the red cord or whatever, and the jetpack
and then they go, oh, it's not gonna start, like, because they cut it and I'm like, oh, this just won't work.
And I guess it was the guidance system.
Yeah, they cut the remote control.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it flies clumsily into the distance. This is like minute 15 of the movie.
Yeah. And it's right after the voiceover section ends.
And then it smashed into the legs of this giant potato god, this false idol that falls, and it hard cuts to Jennifer Coolidge's principal character saying, well, thankfully nobody died. And it is, the movie honestly kind of hurts itself by opening with a lot of its funniest shit. Like it is really
and then
good.
Also, like the very end gag of the movie before like you're probably wondering what happened to everybody. Where she's like, I have a knife.
I can't say I am, honestly.
I can't say I'm gonna do it. And then she's like, and then
that is like Lonely Island core.
And then
that
they
was
do it again. I was
core.
like, dude, that's so fucking funny.
They do it again with no music in the background and without a comedy cut. The edit was very good.
It's so funny. And I'm like,
the wide shot of getting it out, just smacking it.
It's just, the thing is, I experienced such high highs and then such like random boring valleys.